US regulators to challenge Microsoft Activision takeover. What's next? The gaming industry is abuzz with the latest developments surrounding Microsoft's proposed $69 billion for the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The US regulators raised concerns echoing the sentiments from the UK about the potential impact on competition in the gaming sector. Let's break down the key points for you. So the proposed deal, $69 billion, the sexiest of all the billions that you can get. And they're not worth it. They are not worth it. I'm sorry. This would be the biggest deal in gaming history. And I think Bethesda was a much better buy, even though it's Bethesda. If Starfield pays off, yeah, if Starfield is the one that makes everything go, then Bethesda will be clearly a thing. If they wanted, they should have just bought Call of Duty from them. Seriously, I think that's all they want. Just buy Call of Duty from them. Have done with it. Because you do not want the HR mess that is attached to Activision Blizzard. Because you know, we only heard the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that's gone on. Yeah, it sounds like a shitty place to work. The FTC and the states believe the acquisition could substantially lessen competition in the gaming sector. They requested a preliminary injunction to prevent harm while they assess the deal and align it with the US antitrust laws. Look, I think Microsoft could buy Activision. That's fine. I don't think it's worth it, and I think that the moment they get it in their hands, it's gonna be a big problem. I think if this deal falls through, I think Activision might be on a downward spiral from here because they've just literally chopped down all the games that they don't make any games. It's Call of Duty, some Blizzard stuff, something else that no one cares about, and something else that no one cares about. So the EU stance was they approved the deal. 10 years free licensing deal to make sure to ensure 10 years free licensing to ensure fair competition. The UK Competitive Marketing Authority also blocked the deal in April for fears of reduce of innovation and choice for gamers, which I don't think is a problem. That's not an argument. The argument is it's not worth it. Microsoft and Activision have appealed the UK decision to make sure that they can do it, because naturally you're not going to sit there and say no, it's fine. You don't want us to do all that big money. It's fine. We can carry on with that. So the Microsoft are starving for games at the moment. Halo, crap. No Gears of War in sight. Forza, middling. Not doing as well as they should do. But I'm not a big fan of government stepping in unless it's against loot boxes. But I think that they might be doing them a favour. I really genuinely think they might be doing them a favour for this. In December, the FTC already expressed concerns over this, giving exclusive access to Activision games, potentially putting the sideline on for Nintendo and PlayStation. The former FTC chairman, FCT chair, highlighted the worries that Microsoft and Activision might be stopped by the UK opposition. And then EQ's decision was surprising, considering that let the deal go through. So, Babster, what were your thoughts on this? Because I've rambled on because I'm a firm believer that they shouldn't buy them. They should just buy Call of Duty and have done with it.
I was just going to mention about potentially sidelining Nintendo. They're not going to be worried about this. Nintendo release their own quality games, and they all work, and they're all 8, 9, 10 out of 10s. So they're not going to be concerned about this at all.
No.
Sony, I don't think Sony's going to be. I really don't. Do you not feel as though Call of Duty's at its day now? I think the best. I think the best of Call of Duty has gone.
Yeah.
Unless they bring back classic Call of Duty, so go back to World War II, bring back Call of Duty 1 and 2, which are absolute class. I don't get why they're placing all their bets on Call of Duty. It's that ship a sail.
Well, as I said, Microsoft is starved for IP for games. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Halo.
Yeah, they are.
I have a
the
good
latest Gears of
idea.
War game?
Let's get rid of our backward compatibility then. Let's do that.
That's a fantastic idea. Let's reduce our capacity to sell more games to more people. You should have a job in our marketing department, Babster.
Absolutely
mate.
mind blowing.
Well, I was just having a quick look at what games Activision actually do. Apart from Call of Duty, obviously, you got Crash Rumble.
Ironically, originally a Sony game, Sony exclusive title.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the Crash Rumble games. And then you got Tony Hawk's.
That's seasonal.
More Crash. You got
I
Sekiro.
haven't seen Tony Hawk's in years. They released a skateboard thing, then they did the one that was all right, and then
They redid one, didn't they? They did like a remake.
They did a remake, I think. Yeah,
and it was, I think it was big for a bit, but then
yeah. So you've also got Skylanders, which was a nice.
It was good at the time, but it's dead.
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when my kids were younger. We played that on the PS3.
Was that when you bought the little
little figurines that you could place on the pad, and then you play that in the games? Quite good. I like that. It's interactive, and you could build up a little collection.
They're all in retro shops now, by the way.
They are. Figures. Yeah, we got rid of ours. It was once the kids get to a certain age, you get rid.
Yeah.
But Prototype is on there.
That's a dead franchise.
Yeah, it's just the one game, isn't it?
They did two games. They did two versions of Prototype.
Oh, was it two?
Yeah.
See, I didn't play it. Really, that is it. That is
Activision's. If you looked at Activision's old titles, retro titles, they were king. Activision were.
Yeah, they were king. Star Trek Armada. I love that as a real-time strategy game. 1 and 2. That was fun. I've played that recently because I bought good old games. But the back catalogue, but the current IPs, I think they've
that's it for themselves. That's it for the current IPs. Activision Blizzard is different though, isn't it? Activision Blizzard, because obviously you've got World of Warcraft, you've got
StarCraft.
StarCraft is massive.
I was going to say,
World of Warcraft is still going.
Yeah,
it's dying. No one's really interested anymore. They released the classic one, and that was the biggest buzz they had, and everything else is gone downhill after that.
It has. But people are still paying their subscriptions to do that. That's probably what's keeping it alive at the moment. They probably have just enough.
Then you have Diablo.
So
they released that recently and pissed off huge amounts of gamers. So they pissed off about a group of gamers when they released Diablo Immortal on the handheld with the greediest monetizing you can imagine, and then they did it again with Diablo 4. Yeah, and I really don't get how they could be this greedy. I'm looking at, we were talking about, what was it, Grand Theft Auto 6. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost they reckon it's going to cost 20 billion to make, market, and put out. It will be the most expensive bit of media ever. But considering that Grand Theft Auto 5 made, Rockstar and Take-Two $77 billion, they can afford that. And I don't think anyone can afford to compete with that either.
No.
So given that, I would have bought Grand Theft Auto. I would have spent 69 billion on Grand Theft Auto. Do you know why? Because that's the number that Grand Theft Auto should sell for. 69 billion.
Activision's a dead IP, unfortunately.
It's their publisher, right? They've cannibalized themselves.
It's a shame, but it's
I don't see any reason why Microsoft is ploughing on with it, really.
No.
It doesn't feel right. Something's going on there. Are they just trying to spend 69 billion to offset money for tax reasons? No,
it's entirely they want IP. They've got no exclusive
world domination.
So Sony buy new studios in the hopes they'll get good.
Yeah.
which Microsoft should be doing, which they did during the 360 era, and then all of a sudden they decided not to during the Xbox One era. And Nintendo have got their core studios that just always deliver. Yeah, and if they've not got a core studio, there are other studios that they can go to, like Retro Studios in Texas or Mercury Steam in Spain. So, yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo haven't got to worry at all, and they won't be. they just let Sony and Microsoft just get on with what they want to do. Nintendo do what they do their own thing, and yeah, they always come out top.
Anyway, with that, next story.